Hello. Oh, fucking found my watch! Yes! Fuck my life. Ah. It's as though, hello. It's as though that was planted there just for me to find on the video. That was not a setup. Right? I'd lost this watch for like 2 months, and because it was lost, I couldn't find it. And now I found it. Fuck's sake. And the only reason, so let's deduce. Why is this? Because it could be a sign from the universe. So why has it only just come just now? The finding of the watch as a symbol of a metaphor for time. Finding time, yes. Finding time to do Fieros' story time. And this room makes me sound really loud. Okay, I got my watch! I've been having a shitty watch for like the past couple of weeks because it took me a month to realise, yeah, I've definitely lost my watch. And then I bought the new one. My mum bought it for me. Yeah, I still haven't paid her back. I'm not going to pay her back. Let's go to the dictionary, shall we? But I found my watch. I thought this was lost. Poor little bugger. And where was it? Under the chair. Under the chair. How and why was it there? Under the chair. Why oh why did she swallow a fly? Perhaps she'll die. Let's have a look at this. Okay, you pick a page, Oh yeah, so this is how we do Fieros' story time. We get the dictionary. Yeah, because that's how we roll, babies. And we pick a random page. Fieros Reborn. Welcome to the channel, by the way. Come in. Hello. Come on, now. Here we are in the room of... oh yeah, we're in a different room to normal. This is the lounge, isn't it? Yeah, lounge. There's a dining room area over there, but I just felt like I'll do it in here today. My mum's away, so there's no chance of her coming in and going, what? Have you found your watch then? Or to go past and go, you should probably get your washing in at some point because it's going to rain. Or, when you use a dishwasher at the moment, could you put a bit of salt in it? Shut up. Okay, so we get the, hello, welcome to the room, yes. We get the book of dictionary to inspire the ideas. Now, I already know where I'm going with this current storyline because I'm trying to get us to the Ngala tribe, which is me in a hostel in Harlem, Jazz on Lenox Street or whatever it was in Harlem, wearing a golden, much more golden than this, golden African silk, I'm going to say silk dress, telling people that I'm the only white member, white of skin. And when I say white, I mean peach coloured skin. So she said, I'm the only peach coloured skin member of the white Klicken, of the Klicken Gala. I'm going to shut up. So, yeah, so how do we get to there? But now, we know that I had a horrible relationship with an unnamed and vaguely specified person of the gay variety. I had a horrible gay relationship, which is there. And then, so I was at uni during that time, doing a recap, right? So I had a crappy relationship there, lived in the summer house, in an area, within another area, within this country. You should have to go back to the beginning of Fieros' story time if you want to know what the hell's going on. Because it's hard enough for me to know what the hell's going on. This is my own life story. Oh, yeah. So that was a terrible relationship. Felt guilty, couldn't leave. Then managed to break free of relationship. Come on, by reading the book called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And I went, oh yes, read the book, do meditation. What is the next right thing to do? Need to leave this evil person. Yes, good idea. So I left. Come on, let's do it. Okay, good. So left that guy. Fuck that guy, man. No more penis in bum holes ever again. I'm not against. Well, I am against it for my own life. Not against it generally speaking. I'm just not up for it anymore. I tried it. I've been there. I bought the thing, and no. Okay. So fuck off with your thing. We're finished with you now. Yeah. So then, so I quit uni because of all the stuff in that relationship. Blah, blah, blah. Right, and then meditation. Let's read the book. But no. Yes, come on now. Right, no. So, meditation under the tree, remember? In Reading. Meditation. But we can't just get in there like that because we need words. We need inspiration, right? So, we've done that homeopterous, homunculus. Hello, homunculus! It's homophobia. We've had the homophobia one. We had the last time we talked about MBA, Mbala, Mbakwanga, no, Ngala. No one knows what's going on in this fucking video. Okay, I've got something, I've got a page. We have the page. It says at the top, chlorite. We're going to go quickly through these, quickly now, just to get into the zone for the video, because otherwise, okay, come on. Let's read this. Chit. That's not a word. Oh, don't lose the page. No. Chit. Or like chit chat, isn't it? Come on, chit. A voucher for a sum of money owed, especially for food or drink, also called chitty. Chitty bang bang. Chiefly British. A note or memorandum. I'll have a chit. Give me some chits. A requisition or receipt. Chit. Another one. Facetious or derogatory. A pert, impudent or self-confident girl or child, you little chit. Ooh, what an insult. Chit, you little chit. Come here, you little chit. Chitty. Chittal. Another name for axis. Wow. Chit chat. Gossip. Very good. Chit chats. Chit chatting. Chit chatted. Chitin or chitin. A polysaccharide that is the principal component of the exoskeletons of arthropods and the bodies of fungi. Is it fungi or fungi? I'm a fungi. Shut up, you. Chitinous. Shut up. Chiton. Oh dear. A loose woolen tunic. Ooh, pass me. I'm a bit cold. Can I get a chiton? Pass me chit. I want to put my chit on. Anyway, worn by men and women. Tunic. I've never worn a tunic. I don't know what a tunic is. Is this thing on? Yeah. Yes, it is. There we go. Very good. So we will get to a story. Don't worry. We have to just get through these stupid words first, just in case anything sparks some sort of things. So chitterlings. Yes, the chitterlings are everywhere. Oh no, sorry, haven't finished. Chiton. Another definition of chiton is any small primitive marine mollusk. Hold on, there's more to it. It's any small. Well, I've lost it now. One chiton is any small primitive marine mollusk having an elongated body covered with 8 overlapping shell plates. Any small primitive marine mollusk having an elongated body covered with 8 overlapping shell plates. Would that mean a prawn? Does prawn count as a chiton? Chitterlings or chitlings, the intestines of a pig. Or other animal, any old animal, perhaps from a chiton. The chitlings, the intestines of a pig or other animal prepared as a dish. Oh, gross. Pardon me. Chiv. Ooh, that's the female version of a chav. A chiv, a knife. Why are these all so scary ones on this page? Oh, there's so many scary ones. You've got the chiv, you've got the intestines, presumably for you. using a chiv to get the chitterlings. Wow. It also means to stab. Ooh, chiving. Chiv, 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 chiv. Chivalrous is the next one. Gallant, courteous, involving chivalry. Chivalry is the next one. The combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight, especially courage, honour, justice, and a readiness to help the weak. Courteous behaviour towards women. The medieval system and principles of knighthood. Knights, noblemen, etc. collectively. Chive, a small Eurasian purple-flowered alliaceous plant. Alliaceous plant whose long, slender, hollow leaves are used in cooking. That's a beautiful definition, isn't it? Look at all those words there. A small Eurasian purple-flowered alliaceous plant whose long, slender, hollow leaves are used in cooking. Isn't that splendid? Also called chives. Okay. Chivy, chiv, chivy, 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 chevy. Chivies, chivying, chivied, chivies, chivying, chivied, chevies, or chevying, chevied, to harass or nag. Quit chivying me along, you. To hunt, to run about. I can't bother to keep going through this. A hunt, a hunting cry. Chivy, chlamydia. Always something worth reading on it. Any of a genus of virus-like bacteria responsible for such diseases as trachoma, psittacosis, and some sexually transmitted diseases. Marvellous. Good to know. Chloral. Colourless, oily liquid with a pungent odour. Like that smelly dungweed thing, whatever it was called. Scallywag Dunby. Scallybeetle. Weed, nagweed. Creedleweed. Scumweed. Scallyweed. Nagsweed. Dog fennel. Chlamydia. It was in the previous video if you don't know what I'm on about. I was on about... No, don't look it up. Wasting time. Carry on. Chlamydia. Done that one. Chloral. Colourless, oily liquid with a pungent odour like scallyweed, nagweed, fennelweed, bumweed, dog-faced weed. With an evil biting smell. Fatweed, crackweed, smegweed. I can't remember what its fucking name was. Gallyweed. Was it gallyweed? I don't know. No, because it began with M. Mintonweed. Mungweed. No, it wasn't. Mellyweed. Many weeds. Maybe it wasn't even weed. Who cares? Who cares? Look back to the previous video. It's called Fieros joins the Ngala tribe or something like that anyway. Chloral hydrate. Oh no, hold on, I didn't finish the previous thing. Chloral. A colourless, oily liquid with a pungent odour. Right. Made from chlorine and acetaldehyde, and used in preparing chloral hydrate and DDT. Chloral hydrate is the next one. A colourless crystalline soluble solid produced by the reaction of coral with water and used as a sedative and hypnotic. Oh, I knew that. What is this? Chloral hydrate. Is that what? Chloroform? No, that's different. Oh, or is it the same thing? I don't know. If I was some kind of rapist, I would know the difference because I'd be going, oh, do I want chloroform or chlorohydrate? Aren't the same thing? I know what they are anyway, so... Anyway, chloramphenicol. It's probably some gross thing now, isn't it? A broad spectrum antibiotic used especially in treating typhoid fever and rickettsial infections. Pardon me. Chlorate. Why are these the boringest things? Well, this is the chemistry one, so maybe the universe is sort of bringing me the chemistry. These are really boring. But they're fun to say. Chlorate. Any salt of chloric acid containing the monovalent ion. CiO to the power of 3. No, CiO3. Chlordane. I know. Chlordan, a white insoluble toxic solid used as an insecticide. Fine. Let's just see how quickly I can do it. Chlorhexidine. Chlorhexidine, an antiseptic compound used in skin cleansers, mouthwashes, etc. Chloric, of or containing chlorine in the pentavalent state. Ooh. Chloric acid, a strong acid with a pungent smell. Everything's got a pungent smell. Come on now. Chloric acid, a strong acid with a pungent smell, known only in solution and in the form of chlorate salts. Formula HClO3. Chloride, any salt of hydrochloric acid containing the chloride ion Ci-. Any compound containing a chlorine atom, such as methyl chloride, chloromethane, CH3Ci, chloride of lime, or chlorinated lime, another name for bleaching powder. Chlorinate. Chlorinates, chlorinated, to combine or treat a substance with chlorine or urine. To disinfect water with chlorinine. Chlorination, chlorinator. I am the chlorinator. Chlorine or chlorin, a toxic pungent. Oh, pungent. Everything's so pungent. Come on now. Chlorine. It's the final one, isn't it? Nearly the final one. Come on. Chlorine, a toxic pungent. I love that word. A toxic pungent greenish. Oh. A toxic pungent greenish. Oh, toxic pungent greenish. Toxic pungent greenish. Toxic pungent greenish yellow. Toxic pungent greenish. Toxic pungent greenish yellow gas. A toxic pungent greenish yellow gas of the halogen group, occurring only in the combined state bromelian common salt, used in the manufacture of many organic chemicals in water purification, and as a disinfectant and a bleaching agent. Woo! Ow! Symbol, Ci. Is that Ci or Cl? It's a Cl. Cl. Oh God, I've been saying it all wrong all this time. All those ones that were Ci were actually Cl. Oh. Atomic number 17. Atomic weight 35.453. Coined by Sir Humphrey Davy. Chlorite. Any other group of green soft secondary minerals. Consisting of the hydrated silicate of aluminium, iron and magnesium. Oh, I couldn't have picked the most boring fucking page. Oh. Okay. Now that's out of the way. Let's have a look at this. No, so... Right, so where are we at? So let's try and clarify what's going on in this fucking story. So... Oh, okay, so... Right, so what happened? Okay, I can do it! So I went out with that guy in that place. It was a bad relationship. Why was it a bad relationship? Because I didn't want to be there, and I didn't know how to get out of it, and I felt trapped by my own emotions, and I felt smothered by this guy, and I felt like I didn't know how to leave him. Strangely, I felt really guilty about hurting him, and also he was very persuasive and manipulative. So every time I would try to leave, he would sort of use these weird guilt-tripping tactics to get me to come back, or to get me to think that it was going to change, or that it was going to be better than it was, and it never did become better than it was, and it was just exactly the same way as it was always. And it didn't change my feelings independent of his behaviour anyway, because my feelings were like, I just didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be with him. I didn't want to be in a gay relationship. I didn't fully feel like I was a gay person anyway, so, you know, it was supposed to kind of be an experiment, but I did the experimentation phase, and then like that for me was where I wanted to end it, but I didn't have the sort of ability to end it, because really know how to be assertive, I suppose is the right way to put it. I didn't know how to be assertive in the relationship, to just sort of say, this is what I want, and I'm going to stand up for what I want. I want to leave, and I'm going to leave. Which, in a situation now, it would be quite easy for me to do that if I felt like this is not who I want to be with, or this is really not where I want to be, or I'm not enjoying this, or I don't like this at all, and I don't want to be here, and it's not worth me staying, and I don't think that I want to see it through. Then I would just basically say, look, I'm really sorry. This is how I feel, and this is what I'm going to do, and that's my decision. But at the time when I was in that first, it's not my first relationship. It was a really major relationship for me because it was the first person I'd moved in with. The relationship previous to that was with a woman, 1 year older than me, but so I was like 17 and she was 18, and we went out from when I was age 17 to the age of 18. So it was about a year and a half that we were together, spanning those two time periods. Yeah, but we'd never moved in with each other. We'd just been kind of like teenage, high school sweethearts, if you like. And so, although that was really impactful, it didn't come with a kind of whole structure of a relationship where you're with that other person all the time. I was only with Mrs. A. Let's call her Mrs. A. I was only with Mrs. A for when we were at school, and then she'd come over to mine, and then I'd go over to hers, and we'd never kind of moved in. We would go on dates and stuff, but it never went to the moving in stage because basically we were too young, and the facility wasn't really there for it. She was going to go to uni, and she did go to uni, and then that all kind of fell apart. So, yeah. So, bringing the story forward to that Mr. B, let's call him Mr. B. It was my first real committed relationship. Not to say that I wasn't committed before, but it was like where there was a structural component to the commitment, where we were moved in, we were living in the same place, and we were like kind of sharing responsibilities of keeping the house tidy and paying rent to his dad, because his dad owned the building that we were living in, the summer house thing, converted summer house. And at that time I was busking to earn money, and also I was working for Mr. B's dad, doing painting and decorating stuff, and I was doing a bit of work for my dad and my mum and dad in this house, doing some painting and decorating here, and then I was doing occasional silver service work, I believe, waitering work. I'm not really sure, this gets a bit blurry. Anyway, so I'm trying to move this story forward and it keeps getting stuck. But I left him, I moved back to here, to my room, and I got all my stuff back, and I'd left uni by that point as well. And then I kind of back here again, and I've recorded an album of my own songs in the summer, just before that time, and that was one of the reasons why I left uni. One of my reasons for it was that I thought that I could become successful with the album. I was young, I was a bit stupid and naive to think that I would just become an overnight success just because I'd recorded an album, and I thought that people were instantly going to love it, and it was somehow miraculously going to go to the top of the charts or something like that, based on a very flimsy plan, which was to give people copies and sell occasional copies when I was doing gigs. And obviously that's ridiculously naive, but not having had any real education in making a pop hit. I don't know. You know why it was actually, why I was doing that? It's because I started reading some Deepak Chopra stuff, and he was saying about the law of giving and how if you give, the universe will reward you. So I gave these albums out to people, and then I was thinking that it would come back to me as some kind of abundance thing. And it didn't work. So, a bit jaded about that one. Yeah, so that didn't work. So I guess I was back here, and then something came up, which was to go and live in Reading again, because one of the people who was on my art course was still in Reading, still going to the uni there, and still living in Reading, and was going to go off on a travelling holiday for a month, and her room in her flat was going to be vacant for a month, about 28 days, and she needed someone to just rent her room or be in the house while she wasn't there. So I found that notice on Facebook, and I said yes, because it was money that I actually had to do that, and I was like, I need to get out of my parents' house. I want to go back to Reading, and just be in Reading, because I liked it in Reading, whether I was doing uni or not. And I wasn't doing uni anymore, so I basically moved back there for a month, and it didn't really do anything. I was going through a phase where, because I'd broken up with Mr. B, and I didn't really have any idea about what I was gonna do next with my life. I was trying to follow this kind of Eckhart Tolle stuff, this spirituality stuff, and figure out, because he talks about your inner and your outer purpose. So your inner purpose, the internal purpose, is to awaken to your true nature, and to awaken to your nature as consciousness, and to stay as being present, to stay as being conscious, and to deepen your awareness of yourself deeper and deeper. So, become more and more in touch with yourself as you go along, kind of thing. Yeah. And your outer purpose is the stuff that you do in the world that that gives you a sense of material purpose. You're doing stuff to achieve goals, you want to get somewhere, you want to make things, you want to help people, or you want to get stuff, or create something, or build a life, or whatever it is, or to spread a message, or campaign for something or other, or just to have a normal family life could be your outer purpose, whatever. So I was really kind of searching through myself and trying to figure out what is this that I'm going to do on the outer level, because it's a question that's always there, isn't it? What are we going to do at whatever stage of life we are? We're at, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? You can't just sit in a chair forever, because eventually someone needs to pay a bill, or you get hungry, or you get agitated, and so you need to do something. So yeah, so I was in this place, this room, and didn't have anything really to do. I kind of wanted nothing to do as well. I just wanted to be there by myself, just kind of like, I felt like I had unfinished business in Reading. I kept saying that, like, I've got unfinished business in Reading, because I'd had to quit my course. I felt like I'd suddenly realised that wasn't really my decision. That was the decision that kind of was, that I became infected with, that I hadn't really thought through and hadn't decided for myself properly. So I wanted to go back there. And I wanted to be away from my parents, because my parents were becoming weird. They didn't seem to get this whole new way of being that I was going through. They didn't understand that I was concerned with living authentically, and I was concerned with spirituality and trying to find out what's really right for me and true for me, and trying to live in a peaceful way. And yeah, by that point I was vegan, and then I'd given up being vegan, and I was just having this kind of real, like, trying to figure out what the hell I'm about, I suppose. And I got this drumming DVD, and I was upstairs in this house, and there was a drum kit. The other guy who lived in the house at that time had a drum kit set up in his room constantly, and I asked him if I could play on it while he was out, and he said yes, so I did. So I got this drumming DVD, and I was playing along with that. So I was doing that, which was nice because it was fun for me to do. Gave me something to do. I was already musical and I'd done drumming stuff before, but not very much. So that was fun, and I was playing guitar a bit. Did a couple of gigs. I did 1 or 2 gigs with my brother at that time as well. And I did a lot of artwork. I did a lot of meditation. I just walked around and stuff. I was basically kind of drifting around aimlessly for like a month, being, which was fine. And I made friends with like this person nearby. I'll give her a name because I don't think she will ever see this. I don't even know if she's still alive. Her name's Denise. Her name was Denise, and she lived in Reading, nearby to where I was living at that time. And I think she must have gone through some kind of mental health problems or some kind of traumatic incident, which I only realised that later on. But because she was very sort of standoffish, yet she was open at the same time. It was weird. It was like she was lonely, she was vulnerable, she needed friends, but then she was also a bit guarded as well. So she wanted me to come in and spend time with her in her house, just in a kind of friendly, peaceful way, and then she'd be a bit scared about having me in her house as well. So it was odd. I mean, she was lovely. She would just be like, she'd just like do drawings, and she was just kind of watching David Attenborough programs. She'd obviously been through something quite traumatic, and I felt like it was probably some kind of physical accident or something, but I didn't actually know what it was. But I felt like it was a physical trauma or an illness or something that she was recovering from. And so she was nice, but she was also kind of strange. She would get the newspapers and she'd be like highlighting and underlining things on the newspapers, which is a bit strange. Yeah, okay. And then I did a bit of guitar teaching while I was in that place, actually. I put up a little advert, or I put up an advert to do some presence meditation sessions, which no one ever managed to see. It was only in the window of the fucking place that I was at, so it's hardly anyone was going to see that. But a friend of the guy who was living in there wanted to learn how to play the guitar, so I did a few lessons with her, and she really enjoyed it and really liked the lessons. And I was trying to teach her to be present and authentic and feel the inner body and feel her fingers while she was learning the guitar. So I was trying to teach the kind of spirituality stuff at the same time as the actual guitar stuff. So I was just wanting her to get in touch with herself, get in touch with her hands and her fingers and her body, so that she could enjoy it more, I suppose. And it's also better that way. It's better to be in touch with your fingers and your body when you're playing, because it makes it easier and better to actually learn to play. So yeah, so I was doing that. Okay. Then, so as part of my kind of being and just wanting to focus on the spirituality kind of thing, I was thinking of lots of different things. I was thinking I wanted to go into a monastery somewhere. I called up a load of monasteries and no one would have me, or I emailed them and called them, whatever. No one was interested, or they had to have a certain background or whatever, or it was just wasn't going to happen. Then the guy who I was living with, I'll give him a name as well because he's never going to see this. His name's Ben. It's actually Dan. His name was Dan. The guy who I was living with, his name was Dan. He was in a band, hence why he had a drum kit in his room. He was in a band, and I went to see one of his gigs, and it was very strange because he wore a little kind of cat mask thing, and he had a pink daisy type of guitar. It was very weird, and it was very strange because he didn't look like, he didn't even look like a guitarist. You know, he looked like a kind of nerdy IT guy, which is what he was in his day job, and long straggly hair, looked a bit kind of like a gremlin in a certain way. He looked like the IT guy, your standard IT guy, long hair, far too long for his age, grotty looking, ugly, tubby belly, amazing at IT, and then he's wearing this little cap mask with a Daisy guitar thing, pink. I forget the name, but it's like Daisy Rocks or whatever fucking thing. Pink guitar, little cap mask on, and the rest of his band were wearing the same little cap mask. I was like, it was weird. I can't remember it being any good either. Yeah, I did a little bit of the EQ on that night, just very quickly to help because it sounded terrible, and I asked if I could just help on the desk for a bit, and I did that, which he probably found annoying, but it made the sound better. Anyway, yeah, so did that. I don't know whether it was then or before, but around that same time, or just shortly before that same time, I was also doing a open mic. I was running an open mic menagerie, I called it. I can't remember what I called it. Open mic menagerie, maybe? Yeah, and it was for music, poetry, stand-up comedy, and art as well, if anyone wanted to bring art and speak about their artwork, in this cafe in Reading. The Iguana Cafe, if you've ever been to Reading, it used to be there. I don't know if it's still there. But yeah, so I did this thing. It was short-lived. I did a few sessions of it because basically it didn't. I was in a phase where I just didn't really do anything for very long, and I just couldn't stick to anything. I wasn't really like. I was always like, yeah, I'll do this for a while, and then I was like, oh, I'll get bored of it. I'll do something else. So I did this thing for about 4 or 5 or 6 or maybe even 8 sessions at this place. And I handed around a little pot, and people put money in, and then I shared out the money to the different artists equally who had been on, and it was quite good for a while. And then not many people were showing up because, that's how it goes sometimes, isn't it? That you get a lot of people to begin with, and then the people who've already come, they don't want to come back again. So they don't come more than a couple of times or whatever, so it just didn't happen. I was doing other stand-up comedy gigs at that time as well. That's how I knew quite a few people to come along who do stand-up comedy. Poetry people from my uni days, because I used to run the open mic night at the uni, the Students' Union thing there, so I'd got a lot of people who were able to come and play and do stuff. So, yeah, and that tracks me back to the stuff I didn't mention in the last video about when I was at uni. I was like, oh, there was lots of things that I wanted to do, and I did loads of stuff there. I went to the LGBTQ thing, and decided, no, it's not for me. I went to the Rock Society thing, spent one evening there, and they all just wanted to get high on some little island in the middle of the campus, and I was just like, fuck it, I can't be bothered. I wasn't into drugs or alcohol at that point. I was completely teetotal, so didn't do them ones. And I was doing the campaigns for them, with the Go Green campaign, the Stop AIDS campaign, the Fair Trade campaign, and probably something else as well that I can't remember. Yeah, so, and I had a radio show as well on the student radio thing, which was 1 hour a week. I had to prepare that and just get some CDs to play on the thing and do that and get a guest along and stuff like this. I just got friends to come and chat with me on the radio. Got my mum in at one point, I believe, as well. Yeah, and then I had my art course as well, and I had my philosophy course and a couple of politics modules as well that I'd taken. So I was just doing all this stuff, like a mad person, and it started to get a bit much. So that was another reason why it wasn't why I quit uni, that was why I started to lessen my activities, because I'd taken on too many activities. So I was like, I don't want to do these anymore. It wasn't I don't want to do them, it's I can't do them anymore. I feel depressed because I've taken on so much responsibility that I cannot fulfill. So I stopped doing things. I'm going to check how much time I've done. Okay, about 10 minutes left. Yeah, alright, I know we're going around the houses a bit, but we'll get there eventually. So now, track forward to me living in this place with Dan, with the drum kit, floating around. I remember one of the things I did was I just watched a clock. It's just one of those little digital clocks with like red glowing numbers on it, I think. And it was just in my room, and I just watched it for like 10 minutes. I just watched it change. And I was like trying to guess when it was going to go. That's the kind of time I had on my hands. And I was drawing and painting. I'm quite enjoying the drawings and paintings that I did. I really wish I'd kept some of those, so they're really kind of cool. But I didn't. And those are long gone. This is like 12 years ago, I suppose. So those are long gone, because I've destroyed many artworks in my time. It's only now that I'm actually keeping hold of anything, after a long period of just not wanting to keep anything that I do, because I do so much as well. I'm always making fucking artworks, and I just realised a lot of the stuff that I made I never finished anyway. So what's the point in having a load of unfinished work that you don't feel like finishing? You're not going to sell because it's unfinished, so it's just clutter. It's just clutter. Get rid of it. So I did. Anyway, I was in this place with Dan. Now, another little story here before we get to the Ngala bit. I was walking around at night, as you do. Well, nothing to do, man. I don't know what to fucking do. So I was just wandering around. I believe I might have gone to a forest or something to just do a quiet meditation or something in the forest, because the Eckhart Tolle book thing had said that you'll find a spiritual sort of feeling or whatever in the presence of nature. So I was quite often going to hang out in nature and meditate and just try to zen into the natural world. So I quite often go to parks and just sit on a bench or just lie on the grass. I also had this thing where I seemed to be taking on other people's energies a lot as well. I started feeling sick a lot, and I started feeling like I had to vent this horrible feeling. Pardon me. Okay. What else happened? Right. But here we go. So I think I'd been for some kind of meditation in the forest. And I was walking back from that. I was on the side of the road, as in on the pavement, next to the road, a main road, I think, quite main. And this guy pulled up in a car, wound down his window. It's just creepy as fuck. It was quite late, I think it was around 11 p.m. And creepy as fuck, as I say, wound down his window, sort of looked at me, and then he looked over to his left on the passenger seat, and there was this gay porn mag on there. Looked at me and he said, "Do you want a ride?" And I just went, "No, thanks." He was like, "Oh, come on." And I was fucking shitting myself. Because, I don't know, in one sense it could have just been a harmless kind of pick-up thing. You just wanted to go back and have some gay sex or whatever. But it could have been anything. Could have been a whole lot worse than that, It could have been take you back, rape you, kill you, chop your body up into pieces and dump you back in the woods where you came from. It could have been anything. So, and, I wasn't going to say yes on any of those, on any condition anyway, but, fuck. So, I was just like, no, thank you, and just quickly, very, very quickly, I just quickly walked. I don't think I ran, I just quickly walked, even quicker, very, very quickly home. And I was like, fuck. I think he followed me for a little bit, but then he just gave up. So, that was a nightmare. Yeah, that was horrible. So, just pull down his window. I'm sure this happens to people a lot, but it never happened to me. I'm pretty sure it happens to women a lot. Blah, that sucks. It's only happened to me that time, another time, and another time, where someone has invited me back to their house off the street. 4 times, actually. Twice of them I did. But that's a whole other story. That was in a very different mental space that I was in when I did that. I was homeless on one of them. I was homeless on both those occasions. That's why I went back to someone's house, so that I could fucking have a nice shower and a rest and a sleep, whatever. So yeah, but this guy, I was in Reading. I'd come out from a little late night meditation thing, whatever, and I was on the street, and this guy comes by, winds down his window, creepy as fuck, older guy, I presume fat as well. I think it was fat. He must be fat. Just pretend he was fat. Makes him sound more evil. Fat people are more evil. Why is that? So creepy as fuck. Winds down his window. Gay porn mag inside. Has a look at that. You wanna come in? Come in. No. Just said no. And then I just went home. Oh, fuck this. Anyway, now back to the Dan guy. So the Dan guy, right? He had a normal job in the day, and he would go to his job. It was like programming, some kind of programming stuff at a, don't know, business. It's either programming or accounting, or I think it was programming or accounting. I don't know. Something with computers, right? And he would go to his job, do his stuff, ding, 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 right? And he'd come back home, without fail, crack open a beer, rest on his little fat beer belly there, and just watch TV for the rest of the night. And that was his day. That was his day. Work, come home, drink a beer on your belly, watch TV, and then go to bed. And the next day, do the same thing again. Oh, you know what, he must have like done other stuff when he was upstairs. Probably have a wank when he goes upstairs, play computer games or something. But that was pretty sad. I guess he was like 35 or maybe a bit older than that, 35, 36, when I met him. And he was just living a normal life as a single person. I guess he had his band as well, so we'd do that every now and again. But it just struck me as very, very dull and monotonous and repetitive. So he would come back home, watch his little program. We watched The Simpsons together because I liked a bit of Simpsons. Now I'm a very easy to laugh person. I'm quick to laugh. I like a good laugh. I laugh a lot. And I was watching The Simpsons, and I laugh at anything. I really will laugh at anything, and I'll make the most out of each one as well. How long have we got? Oh yeah, a few more minutes. And so I was laughing at The Simpsons, right? And he said, "God, you find everything funny." I'm like, "Yeah, because it is funny." And I sort of realised that people generally, when they're watching TV or just throughout their lives in general, they're not really tuned in to their world. They're not really tuned in to what they're watching or to what they're thinking and feeling. They've just literally become a zombie. He would come home, he would sit there with his little beer, his little claw hands and his fat little belly and his long hair and his little fucking cat mask waiting to come, but not at that time. But with his long sort of like straggly, unbrushed, frizzy, blondish brown hair and his little claw hands and this sort of fat little gremlin belly with his little beer, right? But he would just so becomes a zombie. So he goes to work, probably a bit of a zombie at work as well, just doing the same thing he's done a million times before. His little claw hands and his little tubby belly and his long hair and his little sort of grizzly, little sort of gnarly face with a little hook nose. It literally was like a gremlin. It was like a fucking one of those things. Those, I don't know what they're called, but they're in the Harry Potter in the Gringotts. The little, those little fucking elf grotty little fucking things. I don't know what they are. Gremlins. He was like a gremlin. He was a fucking gremlin, right? And so he just sit there with his little fucking beer, watching TV programs or whatever, with his little beer and his little claw hand. And he'd just sit there watching it, and it's like it may as well not have even been on, because it's just become zombified to it, you know. And I realised, and I knew this anyway because my parents are pretty much like that, but most people in the world, they're really not paying attention to anything. They're not aware of hardly anything in their world at all. You know, they're not aware of the room. They're just zoned in to nothing and just completely blanked out somehow. I don't know how they do it. They've got one fixation point, and it is, I don't know what it is. It's some kind of zombified state. I can't actually fucking know. But yeah, so so that was that, and there I am, attuned and attentive to what's going on and enjoying the program, laughing at it, and he's going, "Oh, you find everything funny?" Yeah, because I'm actually fucking watching it, mate. I'm actually listening to it. I'm actually kind of having an interactive relationship with the stimulus, you know, like they say something, I go, "Ah, yes, I understand," rather than they say something, they say something, they say something, they say something. They say something. They say something. You know, I'm having like a kind of an active relationship with whatever is going on around me. So yeah, that was weird. Anyway, so he randomly burst into talking about an occasion where he'd been to New York and was doing a lot of photography there, and told me this big long story about him going to New York, right? And I was thinking, the signs of the universe, the signs of the universe, what's the signs of the universe? This is a very strange occasion, strange occasion. Normally he's sat there with a little beer, and then he started telling me about the photography thing. Must be a sign from the universe, a sign from the universe, with his little claw hand, his long straggly hair, and his fat little belly with a beer, and zombified, with his little cat mask waiting to come. Yeah, and he told me about this New York trip that he'd been on, where he'd done a lot of photography, and it was really great, and he loved New York, and it was the best places that I've been to, the best places he had ever been to, and it was the most fun he'd had in ages, and blah. Then, my mum and my gran had also recently been to New York, and they had bought me a pair of underpants that said, "I heart New York" on them. And lo and behold, shortly after hearing this wonderful tale of the photography trip to New York by Dan, the little gremlin man with the beard. Did he have a beard? No, he didn't have a beard. But he had this sort of stubbly thing and the little hook nose and the claw hand and the little tummy belly and the straggly hair and the frizzy straggly hair and the little crooked teeth as well. This is his face. Literally. That's how he kind of looked, actually. Little with a brow, heavy brown and little eyes, beady little eyes they were, like this, in the claw hand. Anyway, and sipping his beer as he zombified to The Simpsons. What am I about? Yeah, so he told me this story about New York. I thought, oh, sign of the universe, sign of the universe. Lo and behold, the next day, or very soon after that conversation, I looked into my drawer of underpants, as you do when you're choosing your underpants, you have to look in the drawer. So I looked in the underpant drawer, and what did it say? Oh, I heart New York. I was like, bing, 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 the signs of the universe. And and as I'd said, I'd been trying to figure out what is my purpose, what is the thing I'm supposed to do on the outer level of my life. What is it that I'm called to do by the universe? What do I do? Now, final point. I was already thinking, oh yes. New York, New York, New York, New York here, New York on the underpants, right? 2 signs. And then I went to have another meditation session in the forest, a forest nearby, right? Sat under a tree, sat there, meditation, crossed legs under a tree, annoying sounds of bees and people going with their fucking lawnmowers or whatever, and cars going by, and aeroplanes over the top, fucking cars going by, as I say, people shouting, Sandra, why don't you love me anymore? Let me in. Hold on a minute, that's supposed to be the man. Sandra, get out of my house. Stop trying to come here. You're not welcome around here no more. Oh, but Derek, come on. What about last time you said I was around? Yeah, so that was that going on in the background. I remember there was actually some kind of argument like that. I could hear off in the distance. It was annoying. And then, so I sat under the tree. I was doing my meditation with all these annoying sounds, and I was just, sit there thinking to myself, okay, right, let's meditate on what is the purpose, what is my outer purpose, what am I supposed to be doing with my life, what's the next thing to do, what's the next big thing, what's the next big plan. Sat there. And then I fell asleep, because if you've ever tried meditation, that happens a lot. You just sat there in a chair or on a pillow, whatever, and what? Meditation, watching the mind, breathing. What? Meditation. What? Meditation. You do it with your eyes closed, and that's why you fall asleep, because you've got your eyes closed. Right, just focus on breathing. Meditation. Meditation. Right. So I fell asleep, and then, ta-da! This is the end of the story. Here we go. Drum roll. When I woke up, I went, yes, New York with the signs. Yeah, the book thing. What book? Not book thing. the story from Dan. New York. Yeah, in the underpants. New York is everywhere. New York, and it came to me. It came, and I felt yes, New York. This is the right thing. I must go to New York. Also, because it said in the Eckhart Tolle book that he had gone to America, and I was like, I need to go to America because I am Eckhart Tolle now, obviously. Yeah, New York. That's it. New York. I've done it. New York. It's America. I need to go to America. New York. Right. Okay. It's sorted. Done it. Sorted. Done it. Okay. Got it. Bang. So that is the beginning of the next chapter. Find out what happens next time on Fieros' Story Time. Hurrah!